Let's jump right in. Welcome to this explainer. You know that absolute jolt of pure dread you get from a phobia? Today, we're going to learn how to tame it by borrowing a concept from a pretty famous adventure, going there and back again. Listen, a lot of people, plenty of grown-ups too, get a massive spike of panic from a needle, a dog, an elevator, or just looking over a balcony. If that's you, I want to say right up front, you are absolutely not broken, and it is definitely not babyish. Needle phobias, for instance, literally one of the most common fears out there. So what we're going to explore today is how your brain is actually just doing its job, maybe a little too well, and how we can teach it to do that job better. Now, just to show your brain that it is completely safe right now, we're going to lay out the exact roadmap for this explainer so you know precisely what's coming next. We'll start by understanding your broken alarm, then look at the there and back again method. After that, we'll walk through the step-by-step process, cover a really important physical exception with blood and needles, and finally, look at how you take back control. All right, section 1. Let's look at why your brain reacts the way it does and understand that broken alarm. So, at its core, your brain is essentially a prediction machine. It uses past experiences to constantly guess what's coming next, right? It's trying to get your body ready. Well, a phobia is just what happens when one of those guesses gets completely, stubbornly stuck on the word danger. Your brain genuinely thinks it's protecting you, but it's operating on totally outdated or exaggerated intel. Scientists actually call this a trapped prior. It's a belief your brain grips so intensely that new information literally cannot get in. Think of it like a smoke alarm that's set so incredibly sensitive, it screams at you every single time you make a piece of toast. I mean, the toast isn't dangerous, the alarm just refuses to update its software. With a needle phobia, the rational part of you totally knows a blood draw won't kill you, but that internal smoke alarm, it's going off anyway at absolute maximum volume. But here is the brilliant news. Brains are not fixed. Thanks to neuroplasticity, those physical neural connections that are holding onto the fear can actually be rebuilt. You can consciously retune that screaming alarm. You're definitely not stuck with this forever. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I'll just force it. I'll just sit there with the needle or the dog until I calm down. But actually, scratch that, it almost always backfires. If you push straight into that full white-knuckle panic, your brain isn't learning that you're safe. Instead, it gets completely flooded with stress chemicals and walks away thinking, see, I told you that really was terrifying. Forcing it literally locks the fear in harder. Which brings us to our next section, there and back again, because we clearly need a much better way. So instead of forcing it, we sneak up on it. You move toward the scary thing only until you feel the very first tiny wobble of fear. Not the full panic, just that initial, I don't really love this feeling. Then you actively say stop and retreat to a safe place to settle down. Once you're ready, you step a little closer again. Say stop, back to safe, closer, back. That specific rhythm, like a pendulum swinging, is called pendulation. And adding the scary part in those tiny bite-sized doses, that's titration. You're taking small steps, going there and back again. And here's why this is a total game changer. You're literally rewriting the experience. Your brain's old story is needle equals helpless. But when you get close and realize you're still in control, that you can stop and calm down, your brain notices a huge mismatch between the disaster it expected and the I'm okay reality. Enough of those mismatches, and that stuck prediction starts to loosen up. But here is the golden key. To learn, you have to be a little scared and safe at the exact same time. That is the absolute only zone where the software actually updates. Let's set some realistic expectations right here, though. This explainer isn't going to make your fear magically vanish into thin air by tomorrow morning. You'll probably still feel a bit scared when you face your phobia. But the goal here is completely different now. It's about making it manageable instead of unbearable. And honestly, if you've been living with a severe phobia, manageable is a massive, life-changing win. Okay, let's get into the tactical execution. Section 3, the step-by-step process. Step 1, you have to build your home base. Before you ever go near a needle or a high balcony or whatever it is, you need a reliable way to calm down. Some folks call this going home. It could be a physical place, like curling up in your favorite bed, hugging a toy, or a mental state, like taking slow breaths while listening to a great song. You want things that ground your body, literally feeling your feet on the floor, getting a hug, shaking out your arms. Experiment a bit. Find what genuinely feels safe for you, because this is the camp you'll keep returning to. Once your home base is built, you start finding your edge.
Notice what sparks just a tiny bit of fear. Maybe it's just being in the exact same room as a needle. Watch for your heart speeding up or that primal, tiny urge to flinch. That right there is your signal. Don't wait for total panic. Catch the small flinch, boldly say, stop, retreat to your home base, and calm down until your heart settles.
And when it settles, and only when it settles, you approach once more. Try again. Maybe your brain lets you get a few inches closer this time. Maybe it doesn't. And that is perfectly fine. You really need patience here. There is absolutely no rush, and there is zero failing in this adventure. Every single time you retreat to safety, you're successfully teaching your brain that you are in control. Now, Section 4, the blood and needle exception. We need to talk about a very specific physiological twist here. So, blood and needle phobias are weirdly unique. Instead of just revving you up into a panic, they can actually cause your blood pressure to suddenly drop, which is why people get woozy or faint. To combat this, while you're taking your time to calm down, you actually need to tense and squeeze your muscles. Squeeze your arms, your legs, your belly, hold a really intense superhero pose for about 10 seconds. Then release and repeat. That physical squeezing keeps your blood pressure up so you don't pass out. As your body resets from this, watch for the good signs. You might suddenly take a deep breath, sigh, yawn, or even notice your hands shaking a little bit. If that happens, do not panic. It's not a sign of more danger. It is actually a fantastic sign that your nervous system is literally releasing the tension. It's exactly what we want, so just let it happen naturally. Check out this chart because it visualizes a golden rule for this whole process. The ratio matters. You must always, always spend significantly more time feeling safe back at home base than you do out at the scared edge. If you spend 5 seconds at the edge feeling that fear wobble, you might need 5 full minutes back home calming down. You have to honor that ratio. Furthermore, always end on a good note. When you're done practicing for the day, finish your session completely calm, back at home. Even if you didn't get a single millimeter closer to the thing you fear today, a calm ending is itself a massive success. It proves to your brain that the session ended in safety. Take a second to celebrate, because facing that trap prior is genuinely brave stuff. Which brings us to our final section, taking back control. Ultimately, the most crucial concept in this entire explainer is this. You are the director. You are the one who says stop. Absolutely nothing happens that isn't chosen by you. You are in charge the entire way through, going there and back again as many times as it takes. So, knowing that you hold all the power, are you ready to rewrite your brain's story and take that first step